After Le Corbusier had been able to develop and refine some of the attributes of the domino system in the actual villas, he was ready to issue what for him was the first programmatic manifesto of the new architecture. He called it the 5 points of a new architecture. For polemical reasons, he suggested that this 5 points of the new architecture would be a universally applicable language of the new architecture, and that it was the logical outcome and the correct use of both available technologies of construction, like the concrete frame, and at the same time a vocabulary that provided the kind of what he called the spiritual needs to supplement those technical needs. The manifesto, the 5 points of the new architecture, was promotional. It was intended to familiarize a lay public and international public with the ideas underlying this new architecture. The 5 points are principles that are at once technical and architectural, and they are the pilotis, the roof garden, the free plan, the ribbon window, and the free facade. The pilotis are the columns that derive from the columns in the domino system that support the horizontal slabs and that raise the building above the ground. By the time he's developed the pilotis in the villas, he's more and more interested in using the pilotis to lift the building up off the ground. The pilotis in that way is a reversal of either a classical podium, which anchors the building to the earth, but it's also the reversal of traditional domestic basements that were regarded by Le Corbusier as dank and unhealthy. At the same time, the pilotis accepts the European convention of the piano nobile, the noble floor, the main floor which is one floor above the ground. And it also, the pilotis has implications for the kind of sectional distribution of occupation, even at the urban scale. Corbusier imagined that out of the house is an idea of raising the spaces of occupation above one floor and leaving the ground open for recreation, circulation, transportation, collectively available, that understood urbanistically, this would actually imply a new, more democratic space, an opening, an availability of the surface of the earth for spontaneous and varied uses. In the same way, raising the building on pilotis replaces the basement. The roof terrace, or the garden on the roof, replaces the pitched roof and the attic with an open-air room. Reinforced concrete made each floor plate structurally homogeneous, so that the top floor plate, the roof, was just as strong as the floors. No single feature of Le Corbusier's work better summarizes his conviction about the healing quality of the house itself than the roof garden. On the roof garden, there was a regenerative, inspiring forces and powers of this hygienic exposure of the body to the sun. The roof terrace recalls pre-industrial life, which was lived more outside, and for Le Corbusier would then be more healthy, but it also suggests the hygienic pleasures of relaxation and traveling on the ocean liner, itself one of modernism's objectifs. By freeing the columnar structure from the interior partitions which enclose the program, Le Corbusier created the free plan. The free plan is opposed by Corbusier to what he calls the paralyzed plan. The paralyzed plan is a plan of rooms, each one discrete from the other, created by walls that are themselves load-bearing. Load-bearing walls means that the rooms have to be of a certain size and a certain shape. They have to be entered through doors and punctured by small windows. The free plan allows a much more open arrangement and size of space and an interpenetration of spaces one into the other. The separation of space and structure, or structure and the partitions that enclose space, also enabled an articulation of a vocabulary of formal plastic relationships, these what I called earlier pictorial elements that animated visually as well as spatially the open free plan. This is the moment when the technical conditions of the domino diagram, which change a building's structural solution and constructional methods, actually have an effect that is ultimately not about technology at all, but rather about new possibilities of space, new possibilities of form that now can be explored sculpturally, architecturally, as well as programmatically. The fourth of the 5 points is the ribbon window, or elongated window. The ribbon window is in a way a corollary of the free facade. It's a window that can be cut into a wall because the wall is not load-bearing. But it also, as a device, negates the adicular window, the kind of framing window, which is about one individual positioning himself in a kind of vertical rectangle. The ribbon window is a collective window. It's not an individual window. And it's also not a window that stabilizes a one-point perspective. It's rather a window that produces a panorama. It's almost like a cinematic version of a window rather than a painterly version of a window. We could think of the ribbon window as being an analog of a tracking shot in a movie. Le Corbusier insisted that though it was developed for domestic use, it could become a standardized, mechanized, mass-produced element for all types of buildings. Finally, the fifth point, the free facade. The free facade establishes the compositional, pictorial availability of the surface wall, even as it also allows the thinness of that wall to be more membrane-like, a kind of thinner wrapper that encloses the building and emphasizes the volumetric qualities that were so important for Le Corbusier over the static compression structural qualities. The wall becomes a light membrane that allows the window to be extended without interruption, but it also allows other kinds of openings to be much more varied and to be composed geometrically and visually rather than being determined constructionally or structurally.